Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and today I'm doing an unboxing for Inish, which is the big box of Inish, which also includes Seasons of Inish, as well as Inish Nemed, this new expansion over here. You may have noticed, those of you who are particularly diligent or observant. Observant is the word I'm looking for. I said unboxing, not unboxing and rambling, because this is actually going to have a full explanation of the game, the components, what all the things do, including Nemed, because I've actually read the rules to this already, so I fully know what's going on in this box over here. Although, who am I kidding? There'll probably be some rambling. That's just how it works on the channel. So, to that end, we're going to talk about a few things. But first, I'm going to go ahead and just set expectations. This is going to be an unboxing of Inish because I'm very excited. It just showed up like an hour ago. I already took the shrink off and read the rules, and then I was like, you know what, I should probably do an unboxing because I'm excited about it. It's got new stuff and it's shiny. The box is so pretty. Look at this box. It's beautiful. Granted, it might be a little hard to see or read in the light, but trust me, if you're holding this thing is like shiny and glittery and reflecty in such like all the nice ways. Look at that. Look at the light just bounce. It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Anyways, this is a prototype over here, so we will be, this is a prototype, which means there's going to be a crowdfunding campaign. I'll link to it down below. I will have a review of this as well. I've already reviewed Inish. I recommend you check that out. I'll link to it down below. And then I will be reviewing Inish Nemed and the new content it adds, I guess, as well as the big box. There's some component changes, there's some art changes, nothing particularly crazy though. Feels very familiar and yet slightly smoother, streamlined, adjusted. It looks nice, it looks pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and show you it. With that, let's go ahead and dive into this. Oh, and like I said already, there'll be a review. The review will cover my opinions and thoughts around the new content. This is more just talking about Inish in general and what it does, as well as getting a chance to show you the content. Also, this can go off to the side because you don't really need this. You can get this. I believe you can get this on its own. It's also included in the big box though. So this right now, this is just a pretty box. We'll go ahead and show you the top shot of the box where you can actually read the Inish Nemed over here. But it's got that glitteriness. It looks beautiful. It's great. And now we can say goodbye. I mean, we'll leave it here, but you can say goodbye. You can say goodbye. But we also have the big box for Inish over here. This is also glittery, very shiny, very pretty. I don't actually know what I like more. At this point, there's 3 covers for Inish if you count this. And I like the one I currently have, but I also like this one. So, we'll see. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at what's in here. Again, I have already open this, that's why the shrink is off. I read the rules, but past that, I didn't really change anything. Although I should say, this is a prototype, so even though I didn't change anything, this is not a guarantee that your copy will be exactly the same when you eventually get this. Let's start with the basics. We have 3 rulebooks over here. I'll show you all the components shortly, but we have our Inish rulebook with some small changes to it, and then we have Seasons of Inish and Inish Nemed as well. So you have 3 rulebooks, and they're all very easy to go through. You see, Inish at its core is an area control game. An area control game where you win in one of 3 ways. You either have to have a chieftain over 6 territories. Sorry, present. I lied. Presence in 6 territories. There's going to be these large map tiles. In fact, I could show you one right now. Let's go ahead and pull out this cove. This is a map tile for Inish. We're going to punch it so you can get a sense of what these tiles look like. I'll show you how some fit together, but this is the cove, okay? It's one of the map tiles. Yes, it's a very different map tile than you might be used to. We got a new back over here, more of a whiter color than the previous green one. Still with the green color palette, but a very different approach to it. I like it overall. But this is going to be a map tile. If you have presence in 6 of these, meaning your dudes are in 6 of these places, that's a win condition. It doesn't mean you win, and it's just more complicated than that. Or you could have 6 presence in 6 sanctuaries. Throughout the course of the game, you're going to be building sanctuaries, and some territories come into play with sanctuaries. And if you have presence with 6 sanctuaries, you also win. Now, you could have like 4 sanctuaries in one territory, which means you don't need to be in 6 territories. You can be in fewer territories, but as long as you have presence with 6 sanctuaries, you also, I may have said win, that's not actually true. You have a win condition, all right? But you have to actually do more than that to win. The third way is if you are chieftain over 6 clans. The way that works is, just to give you an example, if I have 3 people in an area and then 2 other people have 2 each, I'm chieftain because I have the most people from any single player. But also, because of that, I'm chieftain over 4 clans. 2 from player 1, 2 from player 2, and I have 3. So I currently have chieftain status over 4 clans. If I have chieftain status over at least 6 clans, I am eligible for winning. That's the core idea. But outside of that, it's going to be a drafting. You know what? We're going to go back to the rulebook here. So outside of that, it's going to be a drafting game where you're drafting core action cards every single round. By the way, these are some of the new tokens. So we have the Flock of Crows, the Bren, the Pretender, the Deed, and the Festival. Slight changes over over here. The miniatures, we'll see them in a second, but they look somewhat similar at a glance. We have the capitals and the sanctuaries, those look similar, and the tiles past the back, the art on the back being different, seems pretty similar. For the most part, I haven't read everything, but I have skimmed this, and there do seem to be some changes. I have not done a comparison from both rulebooks. There do seem to be some changes between the rulebooks, though. So, for example, one area I noticed is nope here. The end of the clash. Note that even in the case where only one player still has exposed clans in the territory, like this particular box, to me, I don't recall that from the original rules. Same with this box, I don't recall that. So I think there are some slight formatting or rules changes in some different ways. So I don't know rules changes, but slight clarity or formatting or things like that, but overall it definitely looks similar, and it's also that short 10 pages with everything, 2 players, game terms, FAQ. I guarantee you that FAQ is not comprehensive enough. One of the things with Inish is that there often are questions and clarifications around certain interactions or cards. That said, they do go with this little box. When in doubt, do what is most simple. So that's their get out of jail 3 card, because if you have ever a question, just do what seems the most intuitive to you, and you are inherently right because the rulebook told you. That's going to be your basic Inish rulebook. It's 10 pages, very easy to go through. The most confusing thing is probably the sequence of maneuvers in combat, but overall, I find it a very straightforward, very easy to pick up game. I have not played this game in, I don't know, 10 months or something like that, and I don't need to read a thing. This is an easy game to remember and play and all that, although I did brush up briefly on some of the Seasons of Inish stuff because I haven't played that as much. Seasons of Inish is going to be a pamphlet, kind of. You open it up. You have your 3 pages here, contents, the 5 modules, and then you have one more page over here of some like theme, which they have this in the base game as well, and then the back. So you really only have 3 pages to read over here, these 3 pages, and 1 page is content, and then you have 2 pages on the modules. The modules in Seasons of Inish are going to be, well, 5 of them. We have the 5th player module. I don't know if I'd call that a module, but basically allows you to play with 5 players. It's one of the things you get in Seasons of Inish, otherwise you can't play with 5. Although it does add action cards, and those action cards in this game are everything. Action cards are the cards you're drafting every round, every season I should say, the rounds are called seasons, and you're drafting core action cards, and that's what lets you do anything in this game. You can't do things without cards. There's no action points, there's no, take 2 turns, roll 3 dice, any of that. No, you play an action card, that's your turn. Granted, it's a little more complicated, there's actually 3 things you can do, a few more with the Inish Nemed expansion, but the core idea is if you want to attack, if you want to move, if you want to add units to the board, they're all coming from cards. So every round you're drafting cards, which is so tight, and I love it, and a 5-player game does add 4 new cards, so if you want even more card variety and just choices and decisions, that part's very fun. So module 1, we have cards. We have a 5th player over here. Module 2 is We Want a King. We Want a King is a module that kind of stops the game from dragging on near infinity. It kind of takes you out of loops where people are constantly tied. Because I mentioned that you are eligible for victory. The problem is other players can be eligible too, and there's a whole thing about who's Bren, which is the main chieftain of the game, so to speak. And We Want a King is a module that makes sure that doesn't drag on forever. It is especially relevant and designed around a 5-player experience where ties are more likely to happen, but they say you certainly can use it at lower player counts, but that's not where it's mainly balanced. So as much as you add a 5th player, you might also slow down and drag the game on, so they added a module to address that. Which again, we have 5 modules, but one of them is the 5th player, and one of them is to balance the 5th player, so sort of 5 modules. Then we have module 3, Seasons of Inish. Seasons of Inish is adds a new festival, a new sacred festival step. It basically adds these seasons where every round, so every 4 rounds of the game, you're adding a new element to the game that's going to be cycling around. You're basically on a rotating schedule of different things happening. I've played it. I don't mind it. It's not bad. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. The 5th player is nice. I think I've played like a 5-player game like twice in this game. I find 4 places where I love this game the most, and also if I have 5 players, I'm going to try to play El Grande because, oh my gosh, El Grande is so good. That's neither here nor there. The point is, I've played 5 players, but not a lot. I have used the We Want a King module. It does the job. I don't know, you don't always need it, but for those times you do need it, you're happy you have it. Seasons of Inish is fine. I don't care either way. I'm happy to play with it. Don't need to play with it. Sea Travels is the 4th module. Sea Travels is where you're going to start having these new tiles that represent sea zones that don't connect to others. I'll show you the components shortly, but effectively you have the tiles that are connecting, and Sea Travels gives you islands and harbors, changing the way the interactions of the board work. It's nice. It mixes things up a bit, gives you a few new movement decisions to be mindful of. I don't feel it's necessary, but I like it. It's nice. I play with it sometimes, I don't play with it other times. The thing I play with every single time is Module 5, which is debatable to call it a module. Basically, it adds 15 new Epic Tale cards. Epic Tale cards are cards that you have from the original game, where you basically have these cool cards you can earn that break the game in so many different ways, and this gives you 15 more. Again, I don't know if it's called a module, it's just more cool cards, and I love that. That's easily always a win. For Nemed, I'm trying to think, should I show you Nemed now, or should I show you components? Let's talk about Nemed briefly, okay? So I'll talk about Nemed briefly. Again, if you're familiar with Inish, this will be helpful, and then we'll go through all the components as well. Nemed over here, by the way, when I do my review, I'm skipping all of the how to play stuff. I'm just going to refer you all to this video for those of you who want to see it. This Nemed section will be timestamped, so you'll know how to play Nemed. There we go. That's plain, that's simple, easy, straightforward. Let's show you Nemed. Nemed, once again, has a unfolding trifold over here. Is this even called a trifold? I think so. But we have 1, 2, 3, but we do have a 4th page, although technically this first page is more just flavor almost. I mean, there's a little bit of a flavor here, and then an overview of things to be mindful of and how to combine modules and don't overload everything at once, and you shouldn't dive into both these 2 new modules, because this one only gives you 2 modules, although they're both real modules, and they warn you, like, don't do both at once, and don't mix it with the Seasons of Inish module either, at least not at first. Once you know everything, go for it, but until then, just don't overwhelm yourself. That, you know, take it easy, take it slow, enjoy yourself. Like, I should slow down talking. Anyways, the modules. So we have components over here. So again, that barely counts as a page. So we really have 2 pages to look at over here. We have dedicated sanctuaries, and then we have nemetons over here. Dedicated sanctuaries are these kind of, I don't know if they're gods officially, but effectively you have these 5 miniatures and they're 5 tiles over here. You're going to shuffle them up and add 3 of them randomly to the game. And then when you build a sanctuary, you have the opportunity to dedicate a sanctuary to one of these 3. So effectively you link one of these gods and tiles to the sanctuary that you built. If you recall, sanctuaries are one of the win conditions, be in a place with 6 sanctuaries. But now those sanctuaries have another ability. And then with that ability, you have the opportunity every round to make an offering. So if you build a sanctuary on the board, you build it in this spot, you link this person to it. Now you have the opportunity, once per season, a player can make an offering to the tile to get the benefit of the tile. Then the tile gets flipped down, and then that's it. You're done. That's that. I mean, it'll come back next round, next season, it'll come back into play and be flipped up. Someone else can do that, but it gives you another action you can do in the game. So in addition to playing cards or claiming a deed, which makes sense if you play the game, I haven't told you it if you haven't, but in addition to that, you have an action, make an offering, pay the cost, and gain the benefit of one of these dedicated sanctuaries. So haven't played it yet. Seems straightforward and easy as far as adding it to the game. I'm curious whether, like, what it does as far as the gameplay experience, because I mean, I haven't even read the tiles. Maybe we'll do some of that together in this video. And then the nemetons over here. Nemetons, we have to show you the actual nemeton pieces, because it'll make a bit more sense. But we have these nemeton pieces, which when you make a gap in the island, as you're building the island, if you make a gap, you get to add the nemeton piece to that gap. And they're smaller tiles that have the same squiggly edges that will attach into things, but they affect only the things that are next to those tiles. But you have the opportunity to basically gain a deed. A deed is a thing that effectively helps you earn your win condition. Remember how I told you have to have, like, let's say, presence in 6 territories? If you earn a deed, you can make that only 5 territories. So deeds are kind of these wild cards towards the objectives that can make it easier to earn objectives and sneak up on you. Also, if you ever lose all your units, you lose a deed. So be careful. Because there's tactical reasons that's actually good to lose all your units, so it kind of penalizes you for that. Very clever. The whole game's very clever. It was one of my favorite games. I love Inish. Anyways, nemetons are these tiles that they may not even come into play, depending on if you build that gap or not. You have 6 of these nemetons that all give you something that is checking for you, like who has the most units in the adjacent areas touching the nemeton, and things like that, and they'll all give you this deed. So it has the opportunity, as an action, you can effectively call, you can hold a ceremony, I believe is a term, and hold a ceremony is where you evaluate the nemeton. Now you can only do this if holding a ceremony would change who has that deed. Meaning you can't just do it to kill time. Someone has to be earning a deed that they didn't have before through the holding of the, or removing a deed from somebody, which can happen in ties. Don't get too distracted by that. But the point is that effectively you can do this action if it results in a change in the game state. You can hold a ceremony and reevaluate the deed. And I believe you can only do that once per round. I'd have to double check. But either way, it allows the deed to effectively have another deed in play that is earned through another way, but a deed that can change hands. Like if you play things like Kemet, it's like one of those the temples, kind of like a temple that you're making an offering to. It can change who owns it. So it's a victory point, but a different kind of victory point than either the standard ones or the deeds. So again, interesting. I'm intrigued by both of these. Neither one am I certain as to what it'll do, but they seem like easy things to add. I'm actually more outside the 15 Epic Tale cards that I'm very excited about. Do they have? Ooh, does Nemed have Epic Tale cards? Nope. Couldn't do a single Epic Tale card. Come on, Colossal. Colossal, if I say pretty, please, can you add like 5, 10, 15, any number of Epic Tale cards to the Nemed expansion? Like anything. There's got to be some cool ideas that you guys have bounced back and forth. It's been several years since Seasons of Inish. I would love. How about if I'll come up with an idea for an Epic Tale card if you put it in the game? Okay, just no charge. I just want cool abilities in the game, and I feel like an entire new expansion without new Epic Tale cards, we're missing out here. Anyways, I said this is an unboxing. At this point, I don't even know what this is. This is mostly me just talking about Inish and talking about the game. But let's do the unboxing part. Let's show you more. I've showed you one tile. That's been the extent of the unboxing. Here's the box. And again, prototype, so don't, assume this is final. But honestly, it looks kind of similar to Inish to the point that it might actually be final. Although this I think should probably be in there. This should be tucked in there. Yeah, so this looks like, oh, I see what's going on. Because we have all these tiles over here. And this is just supposed to be like that. There we go. So we technically have this little divot of things that we can put in there. But this is the box. So we got our little area. We do have to open up everything here. We do have these fun little boxes, which maybe these go. Okay, so if I build one of these, let's go ahead and build one right now. If I build one of these, I wonder if they slide into that gap. And I assume this is where you're putting the units of your faction. So small little buildable boxes. You could build a box. You can put your minis in. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to grab our black miniatures over here. These are some of the miniatures for the game, so I'm going to show you these. I might zoom in. Yeah, let's zoom in a little more. We can zoom in a little more. So these are going to be the miniatures. Let's put that to the side and show you these. So we got more black miniatures. These are probably not the best ones to show you, but effectively they look similar. I don't have the other Inish in front of me at the moment, but these do look very similar as far as the general pieces. Like, I think it's the same sculpt. I think it's the same sculpt as the original Inish. I'll show it to you again in another color, but for right now, we're going to go ahead and dump these in the box. And then we're going to see if we are so lucky. Oh, how does that go? Does that go just like that? I guess so. I guess it just goes like that. Okay, cool. We're going to see if this will fit into this spot over here. See here? We can put this over there. Yeah, I mean, it does fit. The question is, will 4 boxes fit, We're going to go ahead and build 4 more boxes. Although, we have 5 boxes. We have 5 boxes. Okay, I don't know if these are going to fit in that spot. But that spot does seem ideal for them. So I don't know if I have any option except to try. I just don't think 5 of these boxes will fit. Let's go ahead and grab some white miniatures. We also have blue. We have, these are the leaders or the gods, whatever you want to call them. But we're going to dump these guys. I think I'll show you the blue miniatures. Maybe they'll pick up best on camera. We'll see. We have green. Maybe green. Oh, green could be good too. I might do green, especially because this thing is green. Let's see what we got. We got miniatures and miniatures. Okay, let's show you the green miniatures right now. Let's actually build the green box first. But anyway, so in the box, you currently, from what I can see, you have tiles, which we haven't gone through them all. There's a whole lot of tiles to go through. We have the miniatures. We have the fun little box of the miniatures. We have the god miniatures, and then we have cards, a whole bunch of cards. Not a ton of components in this game, but, punchboards, cards, and miniatures kind of hits the major things over here. But let's see what we got. I'll show you another miniature and another, because there's a few sculpts, although honestly it doesn't really make a difference between them. Here, let's show you some of the other sculpts we did not show you. So these are the 2 basic sculpts for the miniatures, and again, I think it's the same as the original Inish. They might be fine-tuned a bit. I'd have to compare them and pull them up and see. But ultimately, regardless of anything else, I will say they do the job. And I like these boxes. Will be a little easier when I don't have to create them every time I'm using them. These are not all gonna fit in, man. These are really, there's no way you can't fit. I don't know what the intent is, but they're not all gonna fit in that little divot there. It's a nice place to put them, that's for darn sure. But I'll do the rest of these later, so as not to make you wait. But there are more of these that you can go through. We'll toss those there, and then we'll show you some of these. So again, these look like they're using the same sculpt from the Sanctuaries and Citadels from the base game. Sanctuaries are a win condition, and Citadels are a place to retreat during combat, which is very tactical. Inish is a delightful game, which I may have talked about. So we have these Sanctuaries over here. Again, without having the original game in front of me, this looks like the same sculpt. It may have been tweaked in some way, but it looks pretty decent. And the same with the Sanctuary, the Citadels over here. So we have these over here that can help defend you in case of battle. Your units can retreat to those, which is great, because then you don't die. Although that's a whole tactical aspect to the game. And also, there are cards that change whether you do or don't die. We'll show you these 5 leaders over here. These are going to be the gods, so to speak, that are going to be associated with the things. And again, Colossal, I would not be upset if doing this crowdfunding campaign if you had extra miniatures, extra ones of these, so that there weren't 5. 3 out of 5 means you're mostly seeing them every time you play. What if it was 3 out of 10? That could be so much fun. I think it could be fun. I recommend that. Anyways, I'm going to show you these miniatures. These are nice over here. Similar quality, it seems, to the general Kemet. Like, obviously, this is something to you from Colossal in association with Matago. Colossal, I believe, took over their big box line of games. So now anything that's like kind of like a Kemet style game, Colossal is doing instead. They're taking those over. And so this is basically Colossal in association with Matago. That's the idea of here. And then I'm saving my favorite one for last, although this one is pretty awesome too, by the way. This tall woman over here. You know, I don't know what's going on with that. If it's is it liquid? It's like air. I can't tell exactly what that is. Maybe I might have to look at the card and see. But then this guy over here, he just got a very imposing gravitas. That's what this guy got. Imposing gravitas. Anyways, these are your miniatures. You'll have 3 of these in the game. Although again, Colossal, it could be more. It could be more. I'm just saying, there's no reason it can't be more. There's like so many reasons it could be more and no reasons it can't. Now, I will refrain from punching every single tile in front of you right now because I feel that would just take up a lot of time and I just don't need to do that. But I will show you the tiles because there are a lot of fun tiles here. Let's see what we got. So, we have, you know, various terrains over here. So we have the hills and the stone circle. This territory enters play with the sanctuary. Now, this over here, this bubble feels like it is more clean than the original. I have to go again. I'd have to look at it to like compare and contrast. But overall, this box just feels like a much cleaner presentation. You know what? I kind of do want to punch all these. I know I just told you I wouldn't, but I don't. They're so because I have to show you how they link together. That's why I'm doing this, because you have tiles that go like that, and then you could take that other tile that I have to the side and you can link it. So you have all these tiles that are joining together on the board with this cool pattern that doesn't look like it should actually result in a board space, but it kind of does. And if you play this game, it is so satisfying. I may have made it clear here, but I do like this game. We have the forest. I do wonder if any of the art has changed because, like, again, even looking at the forest, it looks very clean. I don't know. Like, it looks touched up. The art does look touched up. I may do, you know what? We're right over here, and my copy of Inish is right over there. I'll be right back. I'm back, and this time with the forest tile, so we can compare and contrast the different forest tiles and see there's definitely, oh my gosh, there's a change. Oh my gosh, they use the same art, clearly, but this is, like, look at this. Look at these 2 tiles. Look at these, like, look at the sections of them. I don't know how well you can see this right now, but, like, it definitely looks like they changed the color palette a little bit. They used the same art. They've brushed up some things. They made some things clearer, but it overall just feels sharper on this one. This is good. This is good. I mean, they didn't feel like I needed that. Oh, that was a good throw. I lined it right in the box. Anyways, okay, we're going to put these over here. Continue to put these aside. We got our swamp over here. So this is going to be your swamp, which definitely is very white looking. We have our iron mine. Those of you who have played Inish know that iron mine is one of those places you want to get sooner rather than later because it's going to help you a lot in those combats. We have our salt mine. Now, I can't remember what the salt mine does, so I'm sorry with that. The salt mine is not one that I currently know. We have the mountains, which is going to be focused very much on you can't get into the mountains without suffering casualties, which is oh so much fun. We have our plains, which I don't remember exactly, but it was kind of boring. I don't remember being that exciting. We have our highlands, which I think was defendable again, a little bit of defense over here, so you can defend a little more easily if you have that. I don't think I told you this, but all these areas have different abilities. They have cards that you can gain control of if you are the chieftain of the territory. Those give you abilities and things you can do. We have the gates of Tirnanog over here. There's a whole lot of sacrificing going on over here where you can sacrifice things and get epic tail cards. We have the meadows. We have the Misty Lands. I'm trying to get all these out over here. We have a giant pile of cardboard slowly building up. We have the Misty Lands. And we have the Lost Veil. The Lost Veil is easily one of my favorites. See, the Lost Veil basically has it so that if you hold that card, you can suck people in from adjacent territories, which gives you so much board control in terms of being able to mess with things. The Valley, I think, if I recall correctly, just lets you add a troop. So it basically gives you a free troop every round if you hold the Valley. And then we have the Aber over here. This comes to place with the Harbor. That's going to be from the Seasons of Inish expansion over there, but I don't remember these nearly as well. I haven't played with them nearly as much. We have the Cove. Now you may notice, the eagle-eyed amongst you might notice that the Cove is already a tile we had. That's because there is a version of it that comes into play with a Harbor if you are playing with expansion, and otherwise you just use the basic Cove. Honestly, I don't feel the need for both them. You could just not play with the Harbor and still have the tile there and not Like, it's not going to throw you off. We have the Haven over here, and again, all the colors just seem to be a drop more vibrant than basic Inish. We have the Arena of Lug, and I believe this is from the new expansion. So there's going to be a new tile from the new expansion. So again, as much as I'm complaining there's no Epic Tale cards, there are new zones to go through, and new zones means new cards if you gain control of that region. And the art on some of these is fantastic. So again, these in particular, from the Arena of Lug, from Springs of Boan, from the Halls of Ogma. These are going to be tiles that the art is entirely new. The Throne of Nuada, that's going to be new as well. And then I think there's actually, let me just give me a second here, because I think one of these, is there another new one? I think there was another new one. I think there were 5 of them, but I can't seem to find them because these other ones are, maybe there weren't 5 new ones? Maybe there weren't. Maybe there were not 5 new ones. Or maybe I did, maybe there were and I covered it, because over here we start getting to the harbor tiles. So we have this one over here, which comes into play with its 2 harbor tiles on there. But this is giving you Inis Mona, which is a harbor place. We have High Brasil, which again, don't know offhand. We have our harbor tiles. We have the Isle of Joy. These, by the way, the blue background, these are going to be islands. So they won't connect to other tiles. They're always just islands, and they come into play with a harbor. You always have to travel to them remotely. And that's, I think, all the tiles, I believe, as far as the land tiles. There's more tiles, but these are all the land tiles. And these we'll toss into a bag, I guess. We have all these extra bags from the guys that we're not using. We can toss those in there. Although we'll need some of these. Oh, we'll need them for other things. So then we have the Numidens, what's it called? The Nemedens, whatever they were called. But these tiles over here, which are the smaller tiles that will fit. It will never actually, I don't think it would ever actually touch a island tile, but you can see how they kind of fit in there. So that's going to be this one has the least sanctuaries adjacent. So you have all these things that it's measuring. These, by the way, are going to be deeds. So you have your new epic deeds. No, not epic, deeds. Those are just the deed cards you can have. So we have more of these. We have the most citadels and we have the most clans. So again, these are giving you ways to earn specific deeds for having accomplished those. And then we have 2 more of them. We have the least citadels and the most sanctuaries. So most sanctuaries and least citadels from those 2. Oh, we do have another. We do have another tile. I thought we did, but not the. I don't think it's an expansion one. I think, well, it's Seasons of Inis expansion. We have our, what token is this? What, I don't even know what this is. What token is that? I don't remember what token that is. I have to go look. We have the Reef Haven of Lure. That's what this one is over here. And that can go into the box. Then we have our Inis, our Seasons of Inis tile over here. This one over here is going to be the tile that you're going to have a separate token that will fit into the little rivets. Oh, it's off to the side, I'm realizing. It'll sit into the rivets, and then it goes around the board each time. So it's shifting around the board as you go. We'll have that. We have some more harbors. We have, this is your, what is that? That's your Bren. Oh my gosh, when you claim Bren, that's the advantage. So basically when you claim Bren, you're going to take a token, and apparently we have color specific ones now. So every player has their own color token when they are claiming Bren. Claiming Bren is effectively the equivalent of check when you say that, oh look, I can win the game right now because I've accomplished a deed. Oh, are these specific deeds? Oh, those are specific. So we have our general deeds, and then we have the specific ones around specific goals from those tiles. So each one does have its own tile, it looks like. Not that it necessarily matters significantly, as long as you're on top of just making sure they're being divvied out. But that's what we have. We have more deeds. We have the we need a king tile over here. And then we have all of these, which are going to have a few. Let's show you these. These are going to be like some of the, here, like we have our Bren token over there. We have our seasons, which way you're drafting each round, because you're going to be adjusting that. Some of these tokens over here are for specific, I can't remember if they're cards or season cards. Various things will require you to have specific tokens, and you'll use those for whatever you need. And then we have, is it a box divider? I think it's a box divider thing. So we have these, which gives you your seasons and your Nemed. So I guess this is a way of holding all the cards separate from each thing. So they're dividers. The way these are going to work is we have one more here. So you can see that if you're holding these all together, we have Inis, Seasons, and Nemed. That's going to give you a way you can hold the cards in between these and just be able to grab the cards you need for each expansion on its own. That's going to go into the box. Oh, it's going into that folder there. Okay, I'm realizing where things are supposed to go. We can make this work. And then these are very pretty. This is actually one of the main things I want to show you, and it just took this long to get here. But these are the various leaders, so to speak, whatever you want to call it, whatever that expansion module is called, where you have making offerings to these various characters, because these have that gold foiling over here. So we have our gold foiling. We have Baylor, we have Lug, we have Ariu, we have Nuada, and then we have Conan. Now we can look at all of them to a degree, but we have discard a card that can trigger a clash. So certain clash star fights, you have to initiate clashes by playing certain cards. And if you discard a card that can trigger a clash, that's the offering, and the favor is placed up to 3 clans in total on territories where you're present. By doing so, you cannot become the chieftain of any territory. Ooh, that's dangerous. Okay. So that's going to give you things like that. We have a Lug over here, discard an action card, take a card of your choice in the Epic Tale discard pile. Oh, I am excited for this. This is going to change things up. Okay, that's kind of what we have. Honestly, I think you've seen everything at this point. I just have to go ahead and, oh no, cards. Okay, I need to get the cards out from here because I put them into the wrong divot for these cards. But I got them all out now. I'm going to move these tokens over to here. There we go. we're going to put some of these tokens into bags so we have them all nicely bagged and things, or at least as much as we need to. This can go over there. This can go here. And we'll show you how we, and don't take this as any kind of official organizing scheme by any means. This is me just dumping tokens together into bags and putting them away over here. Oh, I have all this punching dust. Are you familiar with punching dust? Punching dust, where you punch stuff and then there's a little bit of a residue and you're like, oh, it looks like there was some degree of something created through punching those. We're going to put this over there. These and these kind of can go in here. Let's put these in here and these in here as well. There's got to be I'm gonna get my own plastic bags later. This is just what I have for right now. And then this one, I want to put that last circular token in just for consistency's sake. All the small circles go in that bag. Again, I'll figure out a better system later. That's just what I have for right now. Let's show you the cards, and then I'll just put everything away because I'm not going to show you all the cards. I'm just going to give you an idea of the cards, especially so you can see the revised formatting. So we have some of these things over here. These are going to be your seasons of Inish. So you have these cards giving you the breakdown of what the seasons. I think this is what the seasons are. I think this is Seasons of Inish. Yeah. So you have 5 different cards of these. So each player has 2. So you have the double side aspect: winter, autumn, summer, and spring. That's your kind of player aid cards if you are playing with the actual rotating Seasons of Inish, because that way you have these cards. And if you're familiar with the original game, these are much nicer overall. We have our general player aids over here. I haven't looked through these yet, so don't know much about them other than the fact that these give you player aids and things you can do. Again, overall look like they're doing the job. No complaints quite yet. Then we have a whole lot of cards. Let me see if I can sort these by the backs. So we have these 4, which we'll get to in a second. We have all of these, which are the Epic Tale cards, I imagine. I do like the more harsh red on the others, but I think I could definitely I can get my mind wrapped around these ones as well. We have, although I need to sleeve them. I hope I have sleeves for this size. We have our action cards. What are these cards over here? We have these, which I have no clue what these are. These are player aids. Oh, we have player aids. So we have player aids for, depending on whether you're playing with Inish Nemed or not. No, these are the same. These are the same. Why do I have more player aids? I don't know, but I have more player aids than I need. So there's going to be more player aids if you need those. And then we have more of these. These are going to be the Epic Tale cards. We'll have our location cards. And those are our categories. So the basic action cards, the new back for these are going to look like this. And on the front, you have the actions. Again, these will look familiar, but you'll see the formatting has changed. But it's using the same art, possibly touched up. I haven't looked. But overall, the formatting of this looks very nice. I like the art and presentation. I do like the stronger green, yellow, and red backs of the original. Contrasted with here, we have green, yellow, and red are going to be your color choices over here. So again, same color choices. It's a little less harsh here. I kind of like it both ways. I'm not sure overall. I like the harshness of the original, but I also like the elegance of this. But you can decide. I do like the fronts more though. The fronts overall, these are great. We have Citadel, Conquest, Druid. Druid is so much fun. One of the best cards easily. We have Geist over here, although I don't think I pronounced it correctly. Someone once told me it's not pronounced Geist. I always say Geist, but maybe I'm wrong with that. Speaking of which, by the way, it's pronounced Inish, not Innis. I used to say Inish. I got that corrected, and I remember that one. We have new clans, we have new alliances, Sanctuary, Festival, all these cards over here, and then some of the new ones from the new expansion. If you play 5-player, we have, Clans Harmony, Philly, and then, the King in the Land and Exploration. These I've played with far less, but they are also so interesting. The best part of playing with 5 players is adding those cards. I don't actually care about the 5-player game, I care about adding those cards. Then we have the land cards. These are going to have artwork from the various lands, so if you remember that cove, it's going to be somewhere here. That's the cove card. So if you are the chieftain of the cove, you earn this card and you can play it and it gives you a special ability. But if you don't play it this round, use it or lose it. These are all going to give you a ton of abilities. I'm very curious about the new ones. Let me read one of the new ones. So we have the Throne of Nuada was a new one, okay? At the end of a season, take the Bren marker and keep it during the next assembly. It only really helps in the case of a tie, I think. Because in the case of a tie, Bren remains Bren, but that still could be a big deal. It could be a big deal. It's interesting. That's intriguing. We have, I don't want to read a complicated one. We have the Springs of Boan. At the beginning of your turn, add 1 clan and 1 territory adjacent to the Springs of Boan. So similar to Valley, just different. So not super different over there, but different. And then we have Epic Tale cards. I won't be going through a ton of these, but I'll just show you all the general art. We have Baylor's Age. We have the Children of Dana. We have Daedra's Beauty. Let's see if I can read one to you. This is Lug Samodish over here. After an action card has been resolved, add that action card to your hand. One of my favorites in the game, because basically if you have this, you can pull a card to your hand and get a free action of your choice effectively. We have the Battle of Noignia, whatever. During a clash as a maneuver, move 1 or more of your clans from 1 or more territories adjacent to the clashing territory, then place 1 exposed clan in this territory. I know this card because I've played this one a lot. Effectively, it gives you a lot of control over the amount of units in a territory, but you kind of have to know the game for this to make sense. I won't heavily go into it. We have... What else do we have? Sons of Nil over here. Oh, this one specifically you need to be playing with the expansion, if I recall correctly. Place a harbor tile in a territory without a harbor. Place one clan in this territory. I think it's the only card, if I'm not mistaken, that you actually remove from the game if you're not playing with that specific module. Let's see, let's read one more. Alien Visions. Look at all the cards in any one player's hand. You may then play another season card. So that gives you a lot of control, especially if you come down to endgame. A lot of this game does come down to the endgame and trying to figure out if you can push that victory or not. So a lot of game is about that, and that gives you a lot of control over that final turn to see if you can push for victory or whether let someone else do it and lose, and then you can do it next turn instead. Anyways, that's kind of your unboxing as well as general overview of Inish and all of the expansions. If you are excited for this, let me put this back in over here. If you're excited for this, great, so am I. If you're not excited for this, you should play Inish. If you have played Inish and not excited for this, why are you still watching this video at this point? That seems very confusing to me. But I love this game. One of my favorite games of all time. It's been in my top 20 every single year since I've played it. It has not shifted out. Others have moved around a bit. There was a point where Inish was my favorite game. I do think Cyclades has kind of taken that spot a little bit, but honestly, they're both so fantastic. They've danced back and forth. Kemet is still in my top 100 and always has been, but at one point is always my top 20, and that one has shifted a little bit down. Still great. Top 100 is still phenomenal. Anyways, I'm playing this in 2 hours apparently, because it arrived today, and I had plans to play a different game tonight, and this is now happening instead because it's awesome, and I'm gonna play it. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed this video, found it helpful in some way. This is like the most informational unboxing I've ever done in my life. I usually just ramble and then sometimes talk about the game because I may have played the prototype or not. This is the most informational unboxing I've ever done. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but in any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. I will throw a link down below to my original review, as well as the crowdfunding campaign, and I will have a review of the new content once I've actually played it. And until next time, I hope you have a good one.